Hello everyone. This is a new YouTube channel called Africa Rising. I am Suresh Agarwal, your host. So every week we will be meeting for about say 20 minutes to enlighten you, all the viewers in Africa and India, on the subject how Africa is rising, how Africa is rising these days. The subject is going to be quite interesting. The Indians do not know so many things about Africa. They have been knowing everything about China, the rise of China. Now Africa is rising, definitely it is rising. At present, it has become the population of India, Africa as a continent, not as a country. It has become India, both India and China. Now it is almost having a population of 1.5 billion. It may rise to 2.5 billion by the year 2050. The journey is going to be quite an interesting thing, and it is going to provide a lot of opportunity to the Indians. So this channel is going to be more in context of Indian viewers than African viewers, because India has lot of to gain from the rise of Africa. So when the word comes Africa, the first thing comes to the mind of Indians is slavery. So how it got out of slavery, how it was slaved previously. So let's have a look at a very short video. Let's have a look.
And now for a brief history of slavery. Here's the first thing you need to know. Slavery was not invented by white people. It did not start in 1619 when the first slaves came to Jamestown. It existed before then. It did not start in 1492 when Columbus discovered the New World. In fact, when the intrepid explorer landed in the Bahamas, the native Taino tribe hoped that he would help them defeat their aggressive neighbors, the Caribs. The Caribs enslaved the Taino and, on occasion, served them for dinner. Slavery existed in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. The word slave actually comes from the Slavs of Eastern Europe. Millions of them, all white by the way, were captured and enslaved by Muslims in the 9th century and later by the Ottoman Turks. Slavery existed when the Roman Empire controlled the Mediterranean and most of Europe from the 1st through the 5th centuries. Slavery existed when Alexander the Great conquered Persia in the 4th century BC. It was so common that Aristotle simply considered it natural. The slave-master model was just how the world operated in the great philosopher's day. Slavery existed during the time of the ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago. As far back as we can go in human history, we find slavery. As renowned historian John Steele Gordon notes from time immemorial, slaves were a major item of commerce. As much as a third of the population of the ancient world was enslaved. Here's the second thing you need to know. White people were the first to formally put an end to slavery. In 1833, Britain was the first country in the history of the world to pass a Slavery Abolition Act. They were quickly followed by France, who in 1848 abolished slavery in her many colonies. Then, of course, came the 13th Amendment in the United States Constitution. After centuries of human slavery, white men led the world in putting an end to the abhorrent practice. That includes the 300,000 Union soldiers, overwhelmingly white, who died during the Civil War. Now, am I saying that this makes white people better than anyone else? Of course not. My purpose here is to simply tell the truth, and the truth is that human history is complicated. No one, regardless of skin color, stands guiltless. Yet today we are never told to consider the murderous Persian Empire or the cannibalism of indigenous tribes of North and South America or the heinous actions under the imperialistic Muslim, Chinese, Mongol, or Japanese empires, to name just a few. Instead, we're told that slavery is a white phenomenon. And like all persistent lies, this lie spawns a bunch of other lies. On social media, I come across extraordinary depictions about how Africans lived like pharaohs before Europeans came and laid waste to their paradise. I wish any of this were true, but it's not. It's a fantasy. The truth is that Africans were sold into slavery by other black Africans, and in many cases, sold for items as trivial as gin and mirrors. Whites didn't go into the interior and round up the natives. They waited on the coast for their black partners to bring them black bodies. The stark reality is that our lives had very little value to our ancestors. Here's the third thing you need to know. If you think slavery is a relic of the past, you're wrong. There are some 700,000 slaves in Africa today, right now. That's the lowest estimate that I could find. Other sources say there are many more. For context, that's almost twice as many slaves as were ever brought to the United States. Child soldiers, human trafficking, forced labor, these are the conditions that currently exist within the same sub-Saharan region where the transatlantic slave trade originated. African bodies are being sold today like they were sold then, and no, they are not being purchased by any country of white men. In fact, slavery, by any traditional definition, is exclusively practiced today within non-white countries. But we hear almost nothing about that. Just like we hear nothing about how slavery was universal until good people in Europe and America ended it 2 centuries ago. Why? Because our so-called leaders, black and white, wouldn't profit from it. Black victimhood is nothing if not profitable. It elects politicians and funds racial grievance groups. And if black Americans began to view themselves as partners in the American dream, if we embraced the patriotic spirit that holds all men are created equal, the patriotic spirit that is our real heritage, then the race hustlers would soon be out of business. And who wants that? I'm Candace Owens, author of Blackout for Prager University.
While the Africa grows in coming 25 years, it is going to have a lot of advantage of knowledge of English. India too had this because Africa and India both were colonized by the British previously. So India has gained a lot from its knowledge of English. The same way Africa is going to have a lot of gain from the knowledge of English. So let's learn about 10 best English speaking countries in Africa for the knowledge mainly of Indians. So let's have a look at this video.
There are around 2,000 languages spoken in Africa. This highlights the multilingual nature of the continent. Africa is believed to be the birthplace of some of the earliest writing systems, and a variety of scripts are still used there today. In recent years, there has been an increasing awareness of linguistic diversity in Africa, and language policies are now being developed to promote multilingualism. Africa is the second largest continent in the world in terms of both area and population, with 1.34 billion people, representing about 16% of the world's population. Of this number, approximately 150 million people speak and understand English. The African continent was subject to colonialism, which brought about linguistic and cultural changes. Many countries in Africa continue to use the languages left behind by their colonial rulers, with English and French being widely used in matters of education, business, and the judiciary. In this video, we shall explore the top 10 best English-speaking countries in Africa 2024. But before we start, make sure to press the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so you don't miss out on future educative and informative videos regarding the interesting continent of Africa. With that said, let's begin. 10. Botswana. Botswana, a landlocked country situated in southern Africa, one of the best English-speaking countries on the continent. Although the majority of its citizens speak Setswana, English is the official language of the country. With an estimated population of 2 million people, around 10% of the population speaks English. English serves as the language of business and academic correspondence in Botswana and is also utilized in formal communication. Although English is widely spoken around the country, Botswana has around 30 different indigenous languages, all of which are spoken in different parts of the country. 9. Zimbabwe. With a population of around 15 million, Zimbabwe is one of the best English-speaking countries in Africa. Although only 5% of the total population speaks English as their native language, almost 89% of the total population can speak it fluently, which is the second highest number of English speakers among African countries. Although English serves as the lingua franca of the country, the primary language in the country is Shona, which is spoken by 70% of the population. 8. Zambia. Located in the south-central region of Africa, Zambia has a population of 18 million people, and English serves as the country's official language. Zambia is home to several indigenous languages, nearly all of which belong to the Bantu family of languages. For business and official correspondence in the area, English is the language of choice. Aside from English, the primary local language is Nyanja. With over 70 distinct languages and dialects in Zambia, almost everyone can speak or comprehend the English language, and those residing in urban areas can speak it fluently. 7. Liberia. Liberia, like most other West African countries, has English as its official language. To colonize Liberia, the American Colonization Society enlisted black volunteers. Since the country's founding, English has been the most widely spoken language. In the country, almost 3 million people speak a pidgin dialect. Because of the English language's impact, none of their original tongues has a separate mainstream. The Gola, Mel, Kru, and Mande dialects are the sole native languages spoken in a small number of communities. 6. Sierra Leone. The English language is Sierra Leone's primary language. It's been like that since the British took over. The government recognized the influence the Bangladeshi peacekeeping force had on the country by designating Bengali as the second official language of the people. Despite the fact that English is the official language, Creole is the most frequently spoken language in the country. Apart from Creole, Sierra Leone has around 18 indigenous languages. Mende, Temni, Kissi, Fula, Kono, and Kuranko are among the other prominent languages used in the country. 5. Kenya. Kenya, an East African nation famous for its natural beauty, is one of the best English-speaking countries on the continent. The country has a population of around 54 million and a range of ethnic groups that speak their own languages. Nevertheless, English is the official language of Kenya, and around 50% of its population can speak and comprehend English. This proficiency in English can be attributed to the British rule in the late 1800s, which left a lasting legacy and a significant English-speaking population. The English language is the medium of education in Kenyan schools. Although Swahili and English are the primary languages spoken in the region, there are also numerous indigenous languages that have existed for centuries. 4. Ghana. Ghana, a country situated in West Africa, ranks fourth on the list of best English-speaking countries in Africa. The country has a population of 31 million, and English is both the official language and lingua franca. Although there are approximately 11 languages spoken in Ghana, English is the language of business and formal communication. The reason for English being the official language is the result of British colonialism in the region. Due to this, the English spoken in Ghana often has a strong pidgin influence, which may confuse visitors. Nevertheless, English is still widely spoken in Ghana alongside other local languages. 3. Nigeria. Ranked as the third best English-speaking country in Africa, Nigeria has a population of 206 million people, of which 79 million are proficient in English. This accounts for around 53% of the total population. Nigerian English, also known as the Nigerian Standard English, serves as the language of politics and formal communication, while Nigerian Pidgin, which is derived from English, is used for informal communication. English is recognized as the official language of Nigeria, while Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Fula, and English Creole are also widely spoken. Moreover, many of the languages in Nigeria have a written form. 2. Uganda. Uganda boasts a diverse landscape and a population of 45 million, of which around 29 million are proficient in English. Since gaining independence in 1962, this multilingual African nation has recognized English as its official language, in addition to its 43 living languages. Subsequently, Swahili was also adopted as a second official language. Although Luganda has now replaced English as the official language of Uganda, English remains widely spoken by many Ugandans. 1. South Africa. South Africa, a beautiful country situated in southern Africa, is the best English-speaking country in Africa. South Africa's linguistic diversity is vast, with 11 official languages and other commonly spoken languages in the region, such as Afrikaans and isiZulu. Approximately 4.8 million South Africans speak English as their first language, which comprises around 9.6% of the total population. While English ranks sixth among the most widely spoken languages in the country, it is the second most prevalent language outside of households.
The capital of Nigeria, Lagos, is already having a population of more than 20 million, and it is considered as the most English-speaking city in the world. There is no other city with a population of this much speaking English. So let's learn about English. About Lagos, because in 2050 it is going to reach a population of almost 3.375 million. Beating Tokyo and Delhi as well. And let me tell you, we are going to have lots of videos in coming episodes. So be ready for that. And at the same time, please subscribe this channel without fail at the earliest. Please. Thank you for watching.
Another day, another opportunity to learn. Hello, welcome to Lagos, Nigeria. In this video, I show you around Lagos from the airport, straight into the city center and surrounding areas. Lagos, Nigeria's lagoon city, is Africa's leading NPAD city and world's sixth mega city. Before I proceed to show you more of this fast-growing city in Africa, here are some key facts about Lagos. 29 industrial estates and 4 central business districts. Largest market in sub-Saharan Africa, West Africa. Oil and gas pipeline project load center, media and international entertainment hub. Home to 70% of Nigeria's total industrial investment. Home to over 200 financial institutions. Lagos is among the top 10 of the world's fastest growing cities and urban areas in the world. The mega city has the 4th highest GDP in Africa and houses one of the largest and busiest seaports on the continent. Lagos is the commercial, financial and maritime nerve center of Nigeria, with an ever-expanding central business district in Victoria Island, fueled by public-private investments as well as an estimated population of over 24 million. Lagos' diverse economy is the leading contributor to Nigeria GDP. The name Lagos is a derivative of a Portuguese imposition of Lagos de Ramo or Rio Lego on account of its wetland topography and network of lagoons. Core investment opportunities in Lagos includes housing, integrated mass transport, collection and waste recycling, power supply, refineries, petrochemicals, water supply and development, technology, incubators, business parks. We also have agro, industrial products, manufacturing, water transportation, and many more. Lagos has attracted immigrants from all over Nigeria and beyond, as well as commercial entrepreneurs and industries from Africa, Europe, Asia and the Americas. Some of the places to visit in Lagos include landmark Beach Bar Beach in Victoria Island, Brazilian Quarters, home to Hispanic returnees to Lagos, Tibu Square in the city center and several other attractions. I hope you enjoyed the video.